Hi, I'm Javin. I'm ID 109 and I've taken up the business management course, graduated in 2012.
I am Bam, ID 105, currently working as a product manager at Globe Telecom for Wi-Fi products.
Hi, I'm Johann ID 115, and former Vice President for the Membership Committee of Business Management Society. And I'm a management graduate.
Well, I chose the business management course as my course because I find that the course is very flexible and works for people who would not just look for a career in the corporate world, but also for those who'd like to start up and manage their own business.
So back then, in the days of 2005, management is more of just two courses, no? Entrepreneurship and applied corporate management. So back then, I don't know what's entrepreneurship, but my parents just told me to manage our business after college. So I took the business management to help them after my for 3 years in DLSU.
I shifted from another course, and the reason why I chose MGT was because I saw the complexity of the curriculum. Course tackled systems, operations, research, and that itself made it a deciding factor for why I chose business management as a course.
So, how did you land your first job?
Well, it was with a mid-sized domestic corporation that imports and distributes audio-video consumer electronic products from South Korea, Germany, and China. They have 800 sales channels all over the Philippines and work with large retailers such as SM, Robinsons, Atkinson, Automatic Center, SNR, and many more. When I was taking my thesis, they were one of the subject companies that I used. And then during the summer term break, they've contracted me to develop some products for them on a freelance basis. Then 2 days before I marched for graduation, they've invited me to work full-time as product and marketing officer, in which I've got promoted after some time as their product manager. So basically I work with foreign suppliers in those countries that they're importing products from. And yeah, it was fun.
Currently, I'm in the corporate world. I'm managing the Wi-Fi products of Globe. You may know Go Wi-Fi Auto, and the new product which is Capit Wi-Fi, wherein we enable the DE market to have Wi-Fi access. So basically what I do is create, develop, and build these products that can be monetized and be used by the Filipino people.
Well, my focus was more on applying to management trainee programs. So I talked to people with connections, searched in LinkedIn and all that. And then an opportunity arose when PPI emailed me for an interview, and then lo and behold, I got in.
Well, since 2018, I live in Toronto, Canada, and I founded my own company. It's called Next Step North Limited. The company is the importer and distributor of Grand Videoke products, which is a very popular Filipino karaoke system brand. And it's growing in popularity there, not just with Filipinos there, but also with like most of the other Canadians. And we're also exporting different products from Canada to the Philippines and also to other countries. And we're importing products from Asia to Canada and selling them to retail stores, and doing outsourcing contracts with financial and telecommunications companies in Canada.
Typical day at work. You know, in a telco, it's a fast-paced industry. So when we arrive, we should immediately be reading our emails and then attend our meetings and then create decisions with other groups.
I'm currently a management trainee in PBI. So what we do is we study the ins and outs of the bank. So from its products, from its processes, and from its for its division. And as you can see, I get to discover more about what I really like since I'm exposed to different areas.
Well, for me, each day tends to be different for me. On one day, I'm mostly planning strategies. On some other days, calls, meetings with suppliers, clients, and business partners and contractors. Sometimes I work on the Toronto time zone. Sometimes I follow the Asian time zone because I'm talking to contacts in this part of the world. And some other days it is purely like doing sales, execution, meeting revenue targets. Work for me is very dynamic and exciting, especially that I'm the owner of the company in a foreign country. So it's quite challenging, but it's also fun, and you learn a lot of things along the way.
Typical day at work. In the telco, it's a fast-paced industry. So when we arrive, we should immediately be reading our emails and then attend our meetings and then create decisions with other groups. So basically, in one whole day, it's 8 hours is not enough. So that's my typical kind of working day in Globe.
As of now, I'm not yet deployed to a specific unit. So we're actually in a classroom setting type together with my co-MTs. But from time to time, we get exposures also from back branches.
The course taught me how to think in a very all-encompassing way in and beyond business. Besides the excellent technical skills that I've learned from the course, taking the MGT course had helped me discover and push through what the opportunities that are bigger than what I thought that I can ever do.
So to be honest, I don't know the job product management back in the days. I don't even know that kind of work exists. So what I've learned is that as an entrepreneur graduate back then for the management course, it's like creating business. So what I do is I create businesses for Globe, which is currently uncertain before, and now we scale it. So what's important that I've learned when I was studying management is to take into consideration the numbers. Numbers is the vital information that the top management needs in terms of analyzing whether to proceed or not, or to make decisions to go or no go. So my advice to you is that make sure that you make decisions based on data and not because of what you think or what's your gut feel. So create always a basis for making rational decisions.
Well, some of the processes here in the bank, we learned it back in college. So like from the tools that we use to the processes that the bank is applying, we learned it back in college. So it was easy to understand the lectures from my point of view, since I'm a business management graduate. And it's really nice to see how these things are being applied to companies like where I'm employed.
Well, I'm very focused on what I'm doing, and I tend to be very ruthless with my time. Time is, I believe, the most important resource out there. I outsource a lot of functions that I feel that don't give much value for me when I do it myself. And I do a lot of planning, and I tend to be very strict with following the plans when executing them. And I'm also willing to try out new things, and started learning that risk is something that you shouldn't avoid, but something that you should manage. You would never realize that you can do more until you take that calculated risk.
So my strength is, I think, more of numbers. It is very important that when I talk to my leaders, to our bosses, is that we provide them that this is my decision because the ROI, the NPV, the IRR of this product or service will give the company like this. So basically computing, I love computing. Also, second, to create products, you need to involve yourself with other people. So you need to talk with the real users of your potential product. You need to conduct some sort of market research or feasibility study, whether you go on proceeding on creating this product or not. So you need to understand the pain point of the problem. Because some people might think that, or you might think that your product is good, but is there any pain point that you're solving, and how large is this people market? So you need to market size, how big is the impact of your product based on the pain point that you're solving. Also, of creating products in my head, because you should not stop being curious. And the only way for you to keep on going in terms of creating new products or businesses is always looking at different industries and involving yourself on it and interviewing your friends who are in that industry for you to understand what's going on and how can you help in terms of my background now, which is in the telco or IT industry.
Having confidence definitely helped. Since I came in as a fresh graduate, there were terms and concepts that weren't familiar to me. So I asked whoever I could, just so I could understand. From the VPs to the SVPs of the bank, and also to my co-MTs. If I don't know something, I tend to ask them without any hesitation. And I believe that in any company or in any situation, it would help to not be shy whenever you need something.
To be honest, this question is really hard. And it took me a lot of time to think about how should I answer this question. But while I was driving a while ago, coming here to this interview, I listened to this song called 0 to 100 by Drake. I'm a Drake fan, that's why. I'm from Toronto. I guess it just talks about the pushing forward, 0 to 100. It's like driving, you're from 0 and you want to go to 100 as quickly as possible. So I guess I have the same kind of demeanor when doing work, because you want to do something every day that will make the day count. So I guess that's the right song for it.
It's Crazy by Britney Spears. So, why crazy? As in, hindi siya routinary. For the 5 years I was in Globe, hindi ako yung nag-start dito tapos alam ko na yung ginagawa ko. Every week, every month, pabago-bago talaga. It's because technology is always fast changing din. So it's really intense and nakakabaliw kapag syempre nagawa mo na tapos ngayon iba ulit. Tapos ganun talaga eh. So for me, that's the song that I can describe my working environment.
I guess maybe Come Through by Jeremy Zucker. So the line, now I'm shaking, drinking all this coffee. These last few weeks have been exhausting. And then he goes on saying, there's one thing that I need from you, can you come through? Yeah, so the lectures and exams will really get you all worked up. But in the end, if you surround yourself with people you love, your friends and family and all that, it will all be alright in the end.
The best thing, I'd say flexibility. Well, flexibility is having options with what I can do with my time. Beyond the money, I'm not saying I have a lot of money, but beyond that, it's really the fact that I can handle my own time while doing things that I want to do. Yes, there are headaches when you run your own business. There are a lot of headaches. And it isn't true that if you run your own business, you don't have to answer to anyone. I have to answer to a lot of people, like customers, clients, suppliers, business partners, contractors, employees. But there's something freeing with calling your own shots. And yeah, the side effect of that flexibility is that I'm able to meet with key people that we eventually work together on some projects and in turn make more revenue. So I guess it's really good. I love this kind of flexibility that I have.
The best thing about my job is, first, I create products that is being used by the market. Second is the collaboration. Actually, in Globe, there may be different schools of thought. Some people would say like this, some people would say like this. So hindi mo alam kung sino susundin mo, yung isa ba o yung dalawa. But at the end of the day, it's collaboration. And what will make you decide is the impact in terms of numbers. So always remember that. And then third is, who doesn't need connectivity? So Wi-Fi is very important, everyone, and even kayo sa bahay nyo, you need connectivity. So that's what I like about my job. It's because it has purpose, not just to you guys, but also to all the Filipinos out there.
Honestly, getting paid while learning is probably the best thing about my job. Imagine me studying all the bank's processes, all the bank's products during long hours. So it's kind of a good feeling when you're getting paid during the end of the month or mid-month.
Well, I'd say the whirlwind of running your own business. There's just a lot of things going on all at the same time. Lots of headaches, lots of people depending on you. I've shared earlier that I'm very ruthless with my time, but I'm still continuously learning to be such. That's why it's very important to learn how to manage priorities and learn how to say no, as this will help you a lot along the way.
One struggle that I face every day, siguro hindi naman every day, but this one I didn't learn in school. So it's more of the politics. So you need to, kids is everywhere. Politics, corporate, government, it's everywhere. And sometimes it gives you unnecessary stress to do your job well. So for me, I just work and don't really mind it because alam niyo na nga, stressful na ang buhay. And your personal life is also stressful. So just learn to be thick-skinned. Corporate man yan, or you're in the family business, always have that to be thick-skinned.
Well, not knowing a lot is a struggle that I face every single day. But like I said, if you're confident about knowing stuff and if you're confident about talking to people, learning stuff from them, and then in the end, you'll be fine.
In 10 years, I see my business doing at least 7 to 8 figures, hopefully, in dollar revenue. On the first 2 years, we did okay. We were able to do 6 figures in dollar revenue. I believe this is very much possible, but you would definitely need a different strategy to grow your business from 6 figures to 7 figures to 8 figures. And well, MGT students, you're taking a very cohesive course where you can learn important skills in a very dynamic way of thinking that will help you succeed in taking the corporate route or starting and running your own business.
So I see myself in 10 years modernizing the agriculture. So this, where I am now, is part of the stint in my life wherein I learn as much as I can using the IT or the technology to improve a certain segment or a neglected industry. So that's what I want to be 10 years from now. And I'm not rushing to get there. I need to learn as much as I can so that when I get there, it may not be always perfect, but at least I have the training ground already on how to implement such modern technologies in the agriculture industry.
Well, I'd like to see myself starting up a business with my siblings. But hey, anything can change, and I think I'm ready for that change.